You ever meet someone who changes your whole life without even meaning to? That's how it began on a quiet morning by the sea, where a single father would save a stranger and unknowingly rescue his own heart too. Not all love arrives softly. Sometimes it crashes like the waves, unexpected, overwhelming and destined. Stay with this story, because destiny isn't just written, it's breathed back to life. Ethan knelt in the sand, building a crooked sandcastle with his 6-year-old daughter, Mia. She giggled as the salty breeze tangled her brown curls, her small hands patting sand like it was treasure. For Ethan, she was his treasure, his whole world. He was only 28, but life had already tempered him. Former firefighter, widower, and now a single dad trying to rebuild a life that had been torn apart too young. He worked late nights at a local cafe, slept little, smiled often for Mia's sake, and hid the ache that lived like a shadow in his chest. Mia tugged his sleeve. "Daddy, look, a mermaid." Ethan chuckled. "Sweetheart, mermaids live way out there." But Mia pointed again, her eyes wide, not with imagination, but fear. A woman floated face down in the shallow surf. Ethan's heart slammed. Instinct kicked in. He sprinted. "Mia, stay back." He dragged the woman to shore. No breath, no pulse. Skin cold like the sea had tried to claim her. His hands shook, but his voice didn't. "Come on, come back." He pressed air into her lungs, steady, urgent. "Mia," he gasped, "call for help." Minutes stretched tight as a held breath, until the woman suddenly jerked, water spilling from her mouth. She coughed, eyes fluttered open, panic then clarity. Ethan exhaled, relief shaking his body. "You're okay," he whispered, voice cracked. "You're safe." Her gaze dazed, ocean bright, searching locked onto his. "Thank you," she rasped. And in that fragile breath between life and loss, two worlds touched, one grounded in struggle, the other floating far above it, gilded by wealth he couldn't yet imagine. Alexia Hale had built a global empire before most people finished college. Billionaire tech innovator, CEO, philanthropist, the world admired her steel and brilliance. But none of that armor mattered against the tidal wave of exhaustion and loneliness that had led her to this beach at dawn, trying to remember who she was outside the headlines. No one had ever saved her before. Not like this. Not as a human being, not a business prize, not a trophy name, not a queen in a glass kingdom, just Alexia, just someone who needed help. She stayed in town longer than planned, shaken not just by the near-death moment, but by the man who gave her back breath. Ethan. Modest, grounded, gentle. His strength wasn't loud. His heart wasn't guarded by pride. He didn't know her wealth, her fame. And for the first time, she didn't want to correct that. The next day, she found him and Mia at the cafe he worked in. The bell tinkled as she entered, sunlight painting her hair gold. Ethan stared. Stunned, she remembered him. "You should be resting," he said, wiping flour from his arm. "So should the man who saved me," she answered softly. Mia peeked from behind his leg. "You were the mermaid," Mia said, whisper serious. Alexia knelt. "And you were the brave princess who called for help." Mia giggled shyly. Ethan watched, something warm stirring in his chest. As days passed, Alexia joined them on walks, helped bake cookies with Mia, and laughed in a way she hadn't in years. Ethan didn't know who she really was, and she loved the freedom of that. But truth never stays hidden forever. The illusion shattered when a black luxury helicopter landed near the beach, news cameras chasing like shadows. Ethan froze, confusion turning to shock as security guards hurried toward Alexia. "Miss Hale, the board needs you." His eyes widened. "Hale? Alexia Hale?" The Alexia Hale, her heart dropped. This was the moment she feared. "Yes," she whispered. "I was going to tell you." He stepped back, walls rising. "You're a billionaire. Why pretend otherwise?" "I didn't pretend," she pleaded. "I just wanted to be seen as a person, not a headline." Mia clung to Ethan's shirt, sensing tension. Alexia's gaze softened at the little girl. "You both made me feel human again." But Ethan, scarred by loss and distrust, shook his head. "People like you don't stay." "I can't let Mia get attached only to lose someone again." Alexia flinched. "I didn't stay alive to walk away," she whispered, voice breaking. "I want to stay, if you'll let me." But fear won. He turned. Goodbye, Alexia. She watched them leave, heart heavy. Power meant nothing when the one thing she wanted, ordinary love, was slipping through her fingers. Weeks passed. Ethan worked, parented, breathed, but the emptiness in his chest was back, deeper this time. Emiya asked often, "Daddy, where's the mermaid lady?" He never knew how to answer without sounding like the one who drowned possibility. One evening, his cafe received an anonymous donation enough to expand, hire staff, secure a future. But he refused to take advantage of someone's charity. So he went to find her. Alexia was giving a speech at a charity gala, elegant, powerful, admired by hundreds. Ethan felt wildly out of place, yet determined. He waited until she walked off stage, then stepped into her path. Her breath caught. "Ethan?" He swallowed hard. "I taught my daughter bravery. Then I ran from it." Her eyes shimmered. "So why are you here now?" "Because you don't owe me explanations, and I don't get to punish you for being more than I expected." He exhaled shakily. "And because we need you too." Her lips trembled into the smallest, most hopeful smile. "Even the mermaid, especially the mermaid." Mia burst forward, wrapping her tiny arms around Alexia's legs. "You came back," she squealed. Alexia knelt, tears finally falling. "I never wanted to leave," she whispered. Ethan extended his hand, not as a hero, not as a man afraid of heartbreak, but as someone finally ready to breathe again. She took it. In that moment, wealth and struggle didn't matter. Past pain didn't matter. What mattered was the future built not from fortune or survival alone, but from hearts that had found their way back from the edge. Because sometimes the greatest rescue isn't pulling someone from the ocean, it's pulling them from loneliness, fear, and silence, and giving them a reason to live again. If life has ever knocked you down, remember, love doesn't always arrive when life is perfect. Sometimes it arrives when you're broken. And that's how you know it's real.